Okay, cool. Seems like we've got audio. So I'm here again to run through this week's material and to answer any questions that you might have about playing ukulele in general or this week's material at all. Any questions at all you've got, I'd love to be able to answer them on stream for you. Otherwise, I'm just going to go through the material that was set this week. So firstly, if you've got your books and your ukuleles ready, and of course, make sure they are in tune. Just threw my tuner across the room. So of course, make sure they're in tune before you play. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to tell if it is accurate or correct when you're playing. So let's go to page 10, and we're going to look at these chords here. So we've played these chords before, but sometimes it's worth just going back and refocusing and just making sure that it's correct. So for the A minor, you're going to take your either your first or your second finger, but let's go for first. You're going to put it on the top string, the G string on the second fret. So the A minor chord, and you strum all the way through the strings, nice and firmly like this. And when you're practicing chords, it's always good to practice them with a few goes in a row. Try and line this up for you. So always good to practice a few repeats in a row. So 4 on this would be good. And again. And then you can see on page 10 also we've got C major, which is another chord that we've been playing in the song so far. And all the strings in this one as well. Now this is why we should try and play it with the second finger. So then we can change it to an F. Like this. And here we are looking at Life is Beachy on the opposite page. You see section B, obviously this was the task from last week. Changing these chords. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's the A minor chord. Always a nice warm up, and also a good way to check if your ukulele is in tune. Because if it's not in tune, it's not going to sound like this lovely chord here. It's going to sound slightly weird. And the same with the C. It's worth really getting used to the sound of these chords, so then you can use them as a test to see if your ukulele is in tune, because you'll be able to hear if it's correct or not. So let's have a look at Hot Sauce Level 2. So we're on page 17 for this one. Hot Sauce Level 2. Okay. So for level 1, we were doing the string skipping exercise. So we were doing A, G, A, G. This is level 1 of Hot Sauce, page 16. So now we're looking at level 2. And we are going to go for the top line. So we're looking at bars 1 to 4 here. And what we need to do is get into this position here. So your first finger is going to be on fret 2. And your middle finger is going to be on fret 3 on the E string. So it's like this. It's like a backwards diagonal fretting style here. And you're going to strum through both of these strings. And again, remember, to target the string, you can rest your pick on the string you want to go from and go down through like this. So if you're looking at the book on page 17 here, on the top of that page, you can see that we're going to strum this 3 times. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. So I hope you're playing along at home, and we're going to go again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Now the next bar for this is 2 3s. So on the E and the A string, it's both fret 3. So what we're going to do is keep that middle finger pressed down, and we're going to move the third finger into the fret below it like this. And again, we've got 3 strums there. So like that. So if we put these 2 bars together, we've got Oh, that was minor. And again. So now let's continue to the next two bars on this line. We're looking at the F chord, bar 3. So as you can see, we've got an open E, an open A, and fret 1 on the E. So we're going to strum together, same technique, rest the pick on the string, and then go through like this. Really important to be on your fingertip here, because if you're flat, then you are going to end up muting out that string below it. What we want is on the fingertips, and you can see that this releases the string like so. So you see the hand position here is muted. Move it forward, and we get the note again. Muted, and then we get the note. So fingertip like this is very important. Okay, so we're going to go for three times on this chord as well. And then the last chord, very easy. Going to go through it 3 times, no fingers. And of course, going to just rest your thumb there, just to hold the guitar, the ukulele up. So let's go through again. We're going to go bar 1, bar 2, bar 3, bar 4, one more time, bar 2, bar 3, bar 4. So that's the first 4 bars of Hot Sauce level 2. Now this is something with enough work, you should really be able to play this. Just really make sure that your fingers are on their fingertips here, because if you're flat, you get the same thing. And you see the difference here? If my hand is flat, it's muted out. Try to get an angle you can see. So I'm touching the A string there, and then if I release it, you can then see it again. So you see, as I touch that string, it stops the note. So it's really important to stay on your fingertips for all these chords that have this diagonal backwards shape, and also this one in bar 3. So I'll play through this one more time for you. And the repeat. Okay, so I hope you all get on okay with that one. Really give this one a go, because in some ways it can be slightly easier than level 1, because you're not jumping over the strings so much. It's just, obviously, the fingertips is the most important part of this song. Really make sure you're on your fingertips for this one. So next up, let's go to page 12 on the book. And we're looking at the C major scale here. So you can see it's on page 12, right in the middle. And we're going to start on the C string, because if it's a C major scale, it's always going to start with the note C, which is our open C string right here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to use 1 finger per fret. So if it's fret 2, we're going to use finger 2. If it's fret 1, we're going to use finger 1, and fret 3 is finger 3. So let's look at it a string at a time. We're going to go on the C string, we're going open 2. And again, open 2. On the E string, we've got 3 notes. We've got open 1, 3. You might recognize. So this C major scale, as we start playing it, you're going to recognize songs that are built from this scale. So far we've got on the C string, open 2, and then we've got open 1, 3 on the E string. And then when we get to the A string, we're going to be playing open 2, 3. And you can hear it's a very satisfying sound when you get to the end. Definitely sounds finished. So let me play the whole thing for you. Now, when you're playing this, you should count 8 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And here we have the same note at the top and bottom. It's called an octave. It's cool. So, first of all, you should really practice it a lot going upwards. And then you play it backwards. And again. So just make sure that you've got the book in front of you and you're scanning it with your eyes as you travel through this. The thing with this is that you'll be able to hear if it goes wrong. This is such a classic sound, and as you heard, you know, you've heard this in many songs before, so you'll be able to hear if it goes wrong. So just listen, use your ears, listen out, but also scan the book for the first few times just to make sure you're playing it right. So one more time. And backwards. Okay. So, has anybody got any questions? I can see I have a viewer. Please let me know who you are. It's really nice to know who is watching. And also, if you've got any questions, other people in the class might have the same questions. So please do ask them, and I'll be able to answer them while I'm here for the next few minutes or so. So I also set What's a Ukulele, Kenneth? So I set this because this uses the shape from Hot Sauce Level 2 at the start. Okay, so this is all shapes that once we've worked through, we can play. So it's that same shape with fret 3 on the E string, fret 2 on the A string, and the rhythm is like this. So it's a group of 2 and then 3. And then after that, so bar 3, we're looking at an A minor chord from earlier on in the lesson. And then we play it with this rhythm. It's on, off, on. So on, off, on. If you're counting to 4, 1, 2, 3 is off, 4. So we're going to be playing this with the middle finger here, because then as you can see in bar 4, we're going to change to an F chord. And that is 2 hits and 2 waits. So we go from bar 3 and 4, we're going to do this. And again, bar 3 and 4, A minor, F. So if we put it all together, we have this. And again. So this one is only level 2. This one doesn't have a level 1. So you're jumping straight into level 2 here. But as we're working through the lessons here, we've covered the A minor. And we've got the hot sauce shape. So once you've nailed both hot sauce and A minor, you can start having a look at this What's a Ukulele, Kenneth on page 18. Now, this is a really nice piece of music. Sounds lovely. And with a bit of work, or perhaps a lot of work, which sometimes playing music does take quite a fair bit of practicing and working, but the most fun work you can do, you should be able to play this with some time put into it. So again, we're only looking at section A, which is the first 4 bars. So just before I go off, does anybody have any questions about tuning, playing the ukulele, the material, anything at all? Okay. I hope this has been helpful, and happy practicing. Remember, try and practice 4 times a week for 15 minutes at a time at least. Happy practicing, and I'll see you next week.